All right. So the chapter today is working hard for the dream. This entire chapter had me high, low, high, low. Wow. Oh my God. You know, it felt like I was investing my own money with all the crap he was pulling. Going to China for an 8-week course. I thought about that. I thought about you, Abdul, and your Arabic course that you're taking, and decided to suggest that you go to Arabia or Dubai or somewhere over there for 8 weeks and take a course so you can come back fluent like this guy.
We're on chapter 6.
5.
5.
So anyway, so the beginning of the chapter talks about how his grandparents died and left him $5,000, right? If I was to assume or whatever, it was 1980s because in high school it was 1990 in the 90s. So for a kid, a middle school kid, $5,000 is a lot of money, a big amount. If I get my $5,000 now, I don't know that she would even think about investing it or, saving any of it. She would probably just buy everything her heart's desire. And especially, his parents telling him, it's yours to do whatever you will. We don't do that with our kids. Dana, do you do that with your daughter?
No.
Abdul, did you do that with your kids?
No. The fact that he picked the stock market, I wonder if his parents was a good example for him for money. Because how would a kid know to pick the stock market?
Yeah, but he said
he
said
right.
what his parents do.
What did he say his parents?
And
He
his
said
mom was a hairdresser, and his dad worked for UPS, and money was always tight. They didn't do any of that stuff. But I think he got the love for it from playing Monopoly. If I was to read, if this book is correct, I think he developed the love of that by playing Monopoly. And something I learned in the book, I play Monopoly and we love it. I never knew there was a winner. We never played it to the end, I guess.
You didn't know there was a winner?
I mean, somebody would always, when the game is over, someone would always have all the properties and people will owe them money. And like the bank running out and all of that stuff. I've loaned money back to the bank, all of that. But I never thought about it as being a game you win.
Yeah,
Don't judge me.
when you're loaning money to the bank, you're the winner.
Okay. Look, okay. That makes sense. I guess I never looked at it.
Now I get it. Yeah.
It says something about, influence and parenting. When you could leave somebody $5,000 and there's instinct that I need to invest this money.
Yeah.
When I read that particular portion of the book, it reminded me of Russell Brunson, where he was coupon clipping without anybody kind of instructing him to do so. And it seems like he had that gift already inside of him of investments.
I think it's that curiosity, CJ. I think it's that curiosity of like what's out there. Why is it this? Why that kid that always asks questions? He seems to remind me of a kid like that.
But at such a young age, coupon clipping at he was 7 years old. Now $5,000. I'm gonna just take it to the stock market. I'm thinking McDonald's, go-karts.
Right. I'm gonna get a pair of Jordans.
I'm rich.
Yeah.
I'm at $5,000. This kid's like, I'm gonna put it in the stock market.
Seeing his family be tight on money constantly might have been really painful for him. And create a lot of change in a time when they're experiencing pain. So maybe he saw.
You see the opposite today. I see the opposite today in today's youth, where because we have social media pushing bling, the have and have-nots. As soon as somebody gets $1, they're out buying some shoes, some jewelry, some such. But at this time in life and era where we didn't have social media, my man went and invested his money.
Yeah. But
Wait,
do you
I
think,
think MySpace was around. I'm just kidding.
right? I mean, well, it was though. But do you think it's different today? I mean, obviously it's more reinforced with the social media because you can see it more. But you don't. Do you think? I mean, because when I was growing up, that you had that same push. When I was growing up, if you didn't have the right shoes, you wasn't cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah.
I never
think
had the right
I
shoes.
really, I'm
Yeah, I
really
did.
curious. I'm really curious as to how this kid knew to invest $5,000 and make $85,000 by the time he was 18. Like I don't have anybody in my circle, in any of my circles, that would do this at all, and that is ringing out loud to me.
Let me ask a question. Was everybody in here? Because I know I was. Did anyone in here have a lemonade stand or sell some stuff like when they were kids?
I had to sell
Yeah.
stuff for soccer. So
Yeah.
I sold like I always, we would put our stuff in a wagon
Mm-hmm.
and go like door to door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was.
Sell candles and hot chocolate and I mean like literally you name it, we sold it.
My
Yeah.
dad told my family that when I was a kid, I used to sell apples and grapes from America. When he would bring them back to Guyana, I would sell them to my friends. I don't remember that. I remember giving them away. I don't, and I'm not being funny. He said I used to sell those things. So but I don't remember that.
I sold everything. I was the middleman. And where I grew up at, I was the guy that known to, if you had something to sell, come talk to me, or if you wanted something. I mean, I was.
Dang, Don Pablo.
I was a bona fide hustler. There's no doubt about that.
In America, I used to be the candy lady at my school. At my middle school, I used to be the candy lady. I would sell candy all the time.
But
You know what? Even with all of that selling that we did, it was usually an end goal to go buy something else. It wasn't, I'm thinking about the future to put money away.
No,
Yeah.
no,
So
no,
it
no.
could
Not
grow
that
with
deep.
interest.
Not that
I
deep.
had a Lincoln on blades when I was 13. I mean, yeah, I blew all that stuff, man. There was no, it was all like self-gratification, instant grat. There was no like long-term plan or anything like that.
I want to call you Nino Brown. That's what I'm thinking.
I had all the Adidas boots. Like I was known when I was a teenager. I used to wear a lot of Adidas stuff, and I had all the different colors, and that was my thing. That was my thing.
The coordinator that I work with, she came into the office last week and told me that her son Keaton was selling rocks at school, the rocks that he got at school to the other kids. And she looked at him and she was like, well, Keaton, can't they just go pick their own rocks? And he goes, yeah, but they want mine. He's in like first grade. He's like,
That's smart.
first
That's
grade.
smart.
I was about to say rocks mean something different down here in the
Right.
Right.
Rocks
That's what I was
are
thinking.
totally different in Florida.
It's
You know, rocks in school is drugs.
It's different in Indiana too.
It's known as drugs.
Yeah. Rocks are drugs.
But Dana, that's a kid that can sell air to somebody.
Yeah.
He told me one time, he told her one time, Mom, can I split that? Can I have your banana? And she goes, well, Keaton, that's my lunch. And she goes, can we split it? And he goes, yeah, you can have the peel.
That's an entrepreneur.
He was like 3 or 4 years old. It's funny. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's smart. No, that's early science.
Ruslan was selling rugs to his family here, and he has different kinds of rugs, tooled ones, that he's supposed to work on, the tooled ones, they're $15, then the regular ones, $5. And
Wow.
he
Some
even
high
wrote,
price rocks.
yeah, he has this whole thing going on, and it was interesting because he has a little issue with handwriting, but that paper about selling rugs was written so well. I thought his dad did that.
No.
I'm like, did you write that? He's like, yeah. That's a kid's drive.
Mm-hmm.
So remember, this chapter is called Working Hard for the Dream, right? And he went through a whole different set of series of how he wanted something and he went after it wholeheartedly, passionately. and like he just jumped. To me, that's what it looked like. To sign yourself up for Chinese boot camp, that's the one that's, again, like, what the hell? You're not worried about going to Beijing, about new culture, and then you could even talk in English because you would get kicked out of the program. Like, all of those things are hardcore. If every entrepreneur go hard like that, they'll get where they're going. What I want to know is, what I want to address and talk about, and you guys, brainstorm is, in the back of your head, is there any other desire you have, like he did? He went to Chinese school, he went to neuroscience stuff, but in the back of his head, investing was his real dream and his real passion.
You know, his character to me fits one of them profiles. He just likes a challenge because it seemed like he was working through high school. He had 3 jobs to get himself to go to college.
Get the drive.
He gets in this program after all that hard work and determination, only to find out I want to do something else.
Yeah.
I mean, this walk of discovering, to Abdul's point, discovering your passion. This dude he won't stop. He set his mind on a goal and he's just gone.
Well, didn't he say also that when he accepted the job, he was making $100,000, and he thought like, oh, I made it. Most people would stop right there and say, okay, that's it. I made it to the promised land. But that wasn't satisfying enough for him.
Just to be offered a position at Goldman Sachs would be like, I'm rich, I made it, I'm top dog.
Yeah.
But does anyone have something in the back of their head besides what they're doing that's nagging them?
A much bigger picture.
Lead shift. I just don't want to be in the auto industry anymore.
Sean, what's nagging in the back of your head?
I'm better than this. It's that's what I'm saying. I could be the greatest at what I do in this industry, and it's still like Will Chamberlain in the midget basketball league.
So let me address that for a quick second. We all think at some point we're better than something or someone, right? I'm better than what I'm doing right now. What is better? What does better look like? Is it a different career? Is it a different passion?
It's a different passion.
Let me just say it. Usually when you think you're better, it's probably you're the only one that sees that. The other people around you don't see it. The other people around you are like, you're freaking crazy. You're going to leave this and get that and blah, blah, blah. But usually it's something that you have to go after all alone type thing.
Chuck, what's nagging in the back of your head?
I really don't have anything like that. It's just to do more of what we're doing.
Yeah.
What's nagging in the back of your head?
Same with me. I want to excel.
We're nowhere near at our potential.
No.
Pat, really? That's really what's nagging in the back of your head, Pat?
Yeah, I want to excel at what I'm doing here.
That's actually surprising, to be honest.
Really?
I do not see you doing real estate. I see you doing real estate as your form of income, but I don't see you doing real estate as your passion at all. It's not what you exude any time we're in contact. That's not what it is.
Passion's overrated.
No. I don't mean passion like that. I do.
Passion at work is overrated.
So let me tell you what my daughter said, and you really impressed her with your orange purse, right?
Oh, gosh.
She loved your style, and she was like, Mom, her dress, and then when she saw your purse, and she's really into fashion. Like I don't know how many hours a day she spends on YouTube watching fashion-related items and stuff.
Wow.
But she felt like she see you doing something. She's hearing us, by the way. I'm driving her to go get a gift for her friend.
Okay.
She said, I don't see her doing real estate. I see her doing something with fashion.
Me?
And she don't, and Pat, she doesn't even know you. But here's why she's saying you, and I'm assuming that's what it is. You beat to your own drum and your own style. When it comes to fashion. It's not about what's in, and that's something that's set apart. And most fashion designers are just like that. But that's not what I see. I see something totally different. But I have to go for a second. Sorry. CJ, pick up where I'm leaving off.
Oh, what is this? Like a TV show? Or it's like, okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have picked today to read because we got so much going on.
Man.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
We're on the edge of our seats now.
Back to you, Jim.
Yeah, right. So, I would say something nagging at me. I, for some reason, I'm just super slammed with work and opportunities, and so I have to go into the supervisor's office yesterday, and I looked at my calendar, and like the first 3 weeks in November is about full, which means I can't be at the full-time job, and I have to go tell these people, I'm not going to be here that much. Is it all right? They were like, well, you only got 6 days left on your vacation. And I'm like, so?
Well, okay.
I don't want to be paid. I just want to be gone.
Can I ask you, when you say you're not going to be at the full-time job, which job are you talking about? The video?
Good point. No, the Caterpillar.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like, man, yeah, the heavy equipment manufacturer, the
Oh, wow.
bulldozers and
Who's
that.
that?
Yeah.
His day job, you guys. His day job.
Yeah, okay. I see what he's saying. So you're telling the video people you can't be there.
Not the video people, my day job.
Okay, the day job. Got it.
Right. And I'm like, God, it feels like I got to beg, and I could do this full time on my own. I don't necessarily have to be here.
I see what you're saying.
And so, man, it's like I want to make that leap, but, putting everything into place, and I'm asking myself, do I have that work ethic that this guy's talking about right now, where he's, out there getting it?
I definitely think you do.
Yes.
To make it.
It's a lot to give up there, CJ, too. I understand it because you're giving up
That security.
the benefits, the health benefits.
Yeah.
I totally get it.
Yeah.
I totally, honestly, I really get it. November 1st is coming around, and health benefits, if you guys didn't hear, health benefits are only open from November 1st to December 15th.
Mm-hmm.
They've been cut short. So you guys have to decide on your health benefits again. And it's almost $1,100 a month right now. And they've been issued a 75% increase in health benefits again.
Ouch.
So I totally get it. And as a self-employed entrepreneur, I mean, it's just so messed up. And we never get to use really our health benefits. And I know we're getting off track here a little bit, but I totally get it. And you really have to be totally committed to making a lot of money in order to just say, I don't really care how much I pay on health benefits a year because it's irrelevant.
But isn't that what you, I'm sorry, you had that joke.
Yeah, CJ, I can tell you this, having known you for a while, that if anybody is going to make a wise and prudent decision, when the time comes, it'll be you.
Yeah.
You're someone whose judgment is very clear.
Yeah, he's very methodical.
So, when you make the decision, it's going to be a wise choice.
Yeah.
I would like to get Dana's opinion on this too, but I want to say this. Isn't it good sometimes to build a bridge before you jump? And Dave Ramsey references that a lot. Like if you know you're going to make...
guy asking about a bridge. What does that do?
Well, no. Here's what I mean. Like if you were moving and going to do the jump, like you don't want to get to the point where you jump off and say, hey, there's nothing here. I got to struggle. Why aren't the people buying? All this other kind of stuff. But if you save up a pretty good nest egg and then have some things scheduled, when you leave the job, you're basically leaving and walking right into money. So you might as well set it up while you're safe. And then when you have everything in plan, everything planned, then you go after it.
I agree with that. Let me interject on that because I personally face that myself. I agree with that. But also, there's two sides to that coin. While you're trying to save up that nest egg and you're trying to build that safety net, that goes back to the one thing where we're just no matter how much we want to, when we try to do multiple things, each thing suffer.
That's a very good point.
So that's something I'm realizing. I often say, and I'm in pay. I'm the exact opposite of him. I'm like haphazard, rush in, just do it, kill it, pull the trigger, execute. You know what I mean? And that's come back and bit me in the butt sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I get very impatient because I'm thinking if I just, I don't want to quit that safety net. I got a family, I got employees, I got responsibility and stuff like that. But I also know that me having to focus on this thing that I just don't want to do anymore, whether it's my safety net or not, it's pulling away from what I want to do. And it's actually probably pulling away from the success of what I want to do.
Yeah.
That's an interesting word right there, safety net. I think that's what I would classify the day job as.
Yeah, and I'm doing the same thing with my auto group. I mean, I have what I have going on like here and there, and I'm actually, I'm at it in a position where I could let it go, but I'm scared. Because what if something happens? That immediately that just tanks the product or something like that. I still have the auto group. You know what I mean? That's where the healthcare and all that comes from, and the insurance.
Right.
And stuff. But at the same time, I'm just like internally, I'm just fed up with it. You know what I mean? So that's like a debacle that I'm going through myself.
But keep in mind too, this guy is billing 23 streams of income.
Yeah, definitely.
I can't imagine that just, wow, that's so much focus. Do you even have time to enjoy your family and friends?
Well, he didn't do it at the same time.
No, not the same time.
Yeah.
I was going to say 23.
There's a lot of things out there that once you set it up one time, you don't have to
That's
give
the
it
thing.
100% of your time.
Create an environment so he can spend more time with his family.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
So
really
Dana,
what it looks like.
I want to ask Dana a question. So Dana, how do you afford health insurance? I mean, not how do you afford it, but do you have health insurance through your business? You're on mute.
Yeah, I have a health savings plan.
You have an HSA.
Yeah. And I
Okay.
love it.
Do you?
Yeah, because I never go to the doctor because I hate doctors. So I just save that. I bank a lot of that money. I don't hate doctors. Doctors are wonderful, of course, but
No,
I mean, like, I don't go to the doctor unless I'm dying.
Gotcha.
You know, like I have to have something like seriously like
Right.
broken or.
Come out of your neck or something like a.
So you put a certain amount away. So let's say you had a hospitalization that cost you 80 grand.
I max out at $7,000. My HSA max out at $7,000.
So what if you had a hospitalization that cost you 80? What would happen then?
Then I pay the first $7,000 and then my HSA pays the rest.
Oh, you're only on the hook for $7,000. I get
Really?
you.
Yeah.
That's a good
So,
point.
yeah. So a couple years ago, I tore my MCL. So I paid $7,000 out of pocket and then, the rest was covered.
So is that HSA through the Fisher sisters?
Mhm.
Or is that, oh, it is.
Yeah.
So
So I put $4,600 a month or $4,600 a year
Mm-hmm.
into an HSA.
Yep.
Tax free.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't get taxed on that $4,600. And then I pay whatever, $300 a month for Eden and I.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of the year, whatever I don't use, I save
Yep.
Okay.
or invest or whatever. And I really like it. My sister had a baby and she hates it. It didn't work well for her family setup, but for where we're at, like right now, I really like it because all of Eden's dental appointments, all of my chiropractor appointments, like every time I go to the chiropractor, I pay out of my HSA debit card, tax-free.
Mm.
Okay, we're going to look into that.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know if us as entrepreneurs being married and not having, like, belonging to like a group like you do. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know either, but I think it's worth, considering the health savings if you can, because you're paying all your medical bills tax-free.
Yeah, we're going to do that
Yeah.
because we're paying them anyway.
Yeah. I mean, entrepreneurs, health insurance is tough for us,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
Very.
self-employed.
They don't want you to be entrepreneurs.
Yeah. So, CJ, man, that's a tough position. Like trying to having a desire and then, being on the fence of whether to take the leap or not. But dude, you're a talented guy, and you and Yolanda, I mean, you probably have the best wife on the planet to support you. Like,
No doubt.
I mean,
That girl good. She good now.
she could. I think everybody's different, and if anybody, people never make a change unless they're in pain or they see a huge payoff. I've said it 100 times, and you guys can smack me for saying it, but
Boom.
either you will make the change when you see the huge benefit, or you're just like Sean said, fed up, and I was at that point too, where I was fed up.
Yep.
I was like, I am fucking sick and tired of being poor and alone and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And when you get to that point, it's like
It's a breaking point.
freedom.
Yep.
I've never seen a guy who works more than CJ, just want to say. And I think, seriously, because he goes from one job to another, and I believe that videos and shooting pays much more, just except for the benefits, from their day job. I really respect that work ethic. It's really, I mean, you don't see this very often.
I agree.
Yeah.
But that same work ethic would translate when he becomes an entrepreneur. He would still have it.
But and it will pay more.
Yes.
Well, CJ, anything I could ever do, man, just feel free to ask. And that's, I'm not saying there is anything. If there's anything ever I can do to help you and aid you in your journey, let me know, man.
Yeah.
Also in this chapter, and maybe this is in the next chapter too, but I think this is the chapter where when he started taking Mandarin in school, he wasn't doing that well. Actually, he was one of he was like the bottom in the class. And then at that point, something clicked. And he was like, nah. And I think he said he started actually studying from 6 a.m. till 10 p.m. at night.
Yeah, that's when he went to the Chinese boot camp.
Yeah. And he actually became the top student, where some of the instructors was looking at him like, holy crap. But he just he had the determination that, look, I got to be the best. Whatever he set his mind to, he goes after. That's what it seems like. He has that spirit.
Man, I'm seeing the connection still between him, Russell Bronson, and the 10X guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
These guys, man, it's like they're born with it to me.
Well,
that's something right there, man. Don't compare yourself to these guys' highlight reel, because that's all you're seeing in this book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all you're seeing in this book is this highlight reel.
You guys,
Highlight.
has anyone read the book Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell?
Oh my gosh.
Not yet, but I thought we added it to the.
Yeah, we did. That book is intense though.
It's really intense. I mean, it gives a good view on how our exterior, like our surroundings, how our surroundings really affect how we decide and how we make choices, and how we're wired.
Yep.
And so it's really tough to, it's really interesting. I mean, it's really tough to compare yourself to anyone else.
And then, guys, here's the other thing I was thinking. Okay, we see these bright examples of these people who really, really made it. But what about the rest of 80% that didn't, or 90%? You know, that actually did not. There are so many people that what did they do? Like kind of reverse engineering thing. What did they do and that they did not make it? You know, we only see top of the top in the books. but how many people just that whole thing did not work out? And they were in a huge
Yeah. Good point.
Well,
Danica, like a lot of the books that we read, a lot of these authors didn't just like make it on the first,
Right.
first shot.
So what's
But
that
many
saying?
people had stopped. I just want to say that many people had stopped. Like they,
yeah.
these authors, they kept going. They definitely wasn't a smooth ride. They go and go and going. Many so-called failures. But how many people tried one time and had an epic fail, 2 times and just quit and were embarrassed, and it was a huge, and never tried again. I think I mean,
There's a meme that I've seen on the internet that's called being an entrepreneur is a lot like getting pregnant.
I'm trying to think what that means.
It means you go through all the pain, the birthing pain, the child, the changes, the body changes, all of that stuff. And then you give birth to your baby, which is whatever your business is, whatever your opportunity is. And you nourish it.
I didn't know how to say it without being vulgar, but I mean, well, I basically like if my neighbor, when a woman gets pregnant or whatnot, they just, the people that are around her, they notice it when it happens, but they don't see how many times. Oh, I don't know how to say it without being vulgar, but you don't see how many times you get fucked. That's just the truth. How many times you fail, how many times you screw, or you screw up, how many times it's just not done.
That's okay. Now
I'll send the meme. It's a lot better than the meme. I failed on that one, so I didn't want to go about it.
You good. You clever. Let it rip.
But CJ, whatever you do, don't get advice from normal people. Don't get advice from people who, because I think that's the big thing. This question right here is what separates entrepreneurship and employees. Because an employee would sit here and analyze this to death and say, I'm not going to do it. It's too scary. But the person that they work for made the leap.
Can I tell you guys something? This is totally off the book, but it lines up with what Abdul is saying as far as getting advice from a normal people. Yesterday, I was looking, my thought came that I posted on Facebook about a relationship and friendship. Because I went through my phone and I noticed that on a daily basis, I talk to 3 people. My mom, my hubby, and one of my girlfriends. And it's every day. And I'm like, wow, I've narrowed my circle down to 3 people. Yikes. At first it was a little saddening, but then I became very happy because I've always talked about not taking advice on help from fat people, not taking financial advice from broke people, not taking relationship advice, sorry Veronica, from single people, that kind of stuff, because they don't, in my mind, naturally, they may know what don't work because that's why they're in that situation, but they also don't know what it takes to keep it. Right now, sometimes single people choose to be single. That's not a big deal, but I wouldn't run to a single person with my marriage problems. Right? Nope, I don't think anyone would. However, when I looked in that phone, I was like, oh my God, I have totally removed myself. And now the people on my phone that I'm listening to are the folks on TED Talk, are the folks on the 5 a.m. book club. Are the folks on leadership, the stuff that I'm interested in. So that's where my time is now going, and no longer on the phone talking about nothing and what ifs and shoulda, coulda, woulda.
I think going after success is lonely, and
right.
Lonely is not a bad thing.
No.
To be honest, there's only a few people that made the decision to jump. Not many. So there are not many out there.
In the entrepreneur world, it's 3% of the world. The numbers have been done. It's 3% of the world.
Yeah. But you look at that too. We get so wrapped up. If you're making above $70,000 a year right now, you're in the top 1% of the world anyway.
Yes.
Well, we're 1%ers.
Yeah.
Which that's crazy, because that's not what I think. I'm thinking, I don't want to talk about that. I think totally different than most people when it comes to money.
Lord knows that's the truth.
Dana, I want to ask, do you, because when you said one day that you have this little ritual that you do, that you have these books and you have like prayer service, you have like it seems like you have like a mini seminar going on in your home. Do you have many? I know you have many associates that you talk to and people you say, hey, what's going on? But do you have many friends?
Daryl's my friend.
Who?
I have like Daryl.
Oh, Terrell's your friend. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't have very many friends.
Yeah.
I have somebody needs to go on mute there because a lot of moving around.
Sorry, that was my daughter.
Impact. Keep going.
I just have a couple friends. I have like two really good girlfriends. I have like old friends from high school I don't hang out with anymore, but I still talk to.
Yeah.
And then I have my sister. My sister's a powerful person in my life, and that's kind of enough for me. I have a lot of acquaintances and like people I play soccer with and clients that I call all the time and say like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
No.
You know,
Is that
like,
real though? That whole like, I mean, just like when you grow up, that, I mean, I don't want to say like fairy tale, but that perception that you're just going to have a lot of friends and everybody, like every life's perfect and stuff like that. I mean,
I used to think so. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, my mom told me, and my mom really, she said, you're very, you know, if you got 4 real friends in life, you're blessed.
My mom always said that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I mean, because you have a lot of acquaintances, obviously, but I don't know. I just always took that because we moved around a lot when I was younger and stuff like that. So I didn't have a lot of people I grew up with, but I do that with a lot of people.
I have these girls I went to high school with that were really tight in high school, and they're still like, it's like 10 girls, and they all hang out, and all their husbands hang. I mean, every single one of them is married with kids. And they all hang out together. And there's a couple of them that are really good clients of mine. We have lunch every, month or 2 or 3 or whatever. But some people do. Some people do have like a group of friends.
I don't think I've ever had that, but friends that is. But I think it's because I'm introvert mostly, I guess. Yolanda, is that right?
Yeah. Or, and like I said, I'm learning about this empath thing too. Maybe it should be that. But the thing is, I used to think when my mom used to tell me, I said, I think my mom is just a grumpy person. Maybe she just doesn't have like friends. And then the older I became, I started to evaluate this. I said, well, if you hang around these majority of normal people, it seems like they don't want to let you go. So they always try to hold on to you. Don't do that. That's too dangerous. Don't touch that. Don't try that. Don't travel there. Don't do this. You're going to get kidnapped. All this other kind of stuff. And then when you leave, then they're like, you think you're better than us? You think this? You think that? Oh, my God. Look at Mr. Tutu. Mr. Chinaman. But then it turns into jealousy. So I'm like, well, you weren't real friends anyway.
But some people are just jealous. They just need some people just need you to reach out your hand.
And smack them or what?
And say, come on. Like, come on. Giddy the fuck up.
Yeah, but that's bit me in the butt too. You know how many times I'm trying to help somebody? I mean, and it's all it ever did was come back and technically ruin that relationship.
Yeah.
It's going to be ruined anyways.
True. That's true.
It's going to be ruined anyways, but why not try to bring your friends into success or happiness or change or whatever?
Dana?
I mean, why not try? I don't think it's lonely. I think it's a place.
Dana, Snoop Dogg, of all the people, had a good explanation for this. He says you can help people, but make sure that you don't pause your growth because you're helping someone else.
And that's
like when you go back to help somebody, you have to stop.
But who, I mean, do we all think that we, just decided one day that we, want to be entrepreneurs and, we want more for ourselves? Or did we have like one person who showed us like a little glimpse, or somebody that, you know, took us along with them, or gave us a book or something. I mean,
Yeah, that was part of it.
I think just that you have to be discerning as to who is a good investment of your time.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very true. I agree with you, Dana. Sometimes when you see somebody who is striving and like really looking for answer, and you can, you know, just tell them, okay, maybe like when the person is really initiative and you see that they're really trying, they're really working hard, instead of you telling them something and they're like, oh, I can't do that. No, you can't. I can do that. You know, like when the person is really desperate to change, they will reach out to you and they will take every job you give them and do the most of it. I understand. So I agree with both of you.
Yeah, because trust me, you want those people that you grew up with to come with you. But really, to be honest, a lot of the times we're thrown into situations like we don't pick our school districts when we're kids. You know, those people around us just happen to live by us, and they're our acquaintances. But they may not be into the things that you are. But I do think that sometimes there has to be a time where you have to say goodbye, because some people will only go so far and say, hey, that's all I need.
I agree with you. But before I say goodbye, I say, hey, I love you and I believe in you and I support you and I'm here for you, or whatever. I don't think that we just cut ties, and I don't feel like this. I don't feel like this entrepreneur life for me is lonely. I just don't.
So let me say this, Dana. That's where all the negative things about entrepreneurship comes from. There's a saying that people say all the time: pay attention to those who don't clap when you win or when you're in the spotlight. Pay attention, like all of that crap, and I think it's crap. All of that comes from the people who are upset that you've decided to follow your dreams and not, you know, stay down there in the mully grubs with them. The other part of that is sometimes you're the person that you're cutting ties for your own sake, not because you think you're better than them, not because any of those, because sometimes there's people in your life that you have to go get the success and then come back for them.
Right.
Or else they will hinder you, right? Or sometimes people can't get past the old Dana, the one that would just fight and throw eggs at them in a heartbeat, to see or respect the new Dana that I'll still fight you, don't get it twisted, but there's a different way for me to fight you, kind of thing. And I'll show you how to get, you know what I mean? Like, it's not necessarily all about those people. It's about you and your growth. And then, again, if you're always thinking about others and coming back for people or lifting people up with you, you'll never be lonely, ever. I'm never lonely. I may only talk to 3 people on the phone, but I'm never lonely. There's always someone that I can inspire. There's always someone that I can help. There's always someone that you can do something for. That is not a lonely place. It's the best joy. It's better than rocks or crack, to me. And not that I've tried crack or rocks, but to me, when you're waking up, deciding, I'm going to help somebody today, and it doesn't mean you help them for the rest of their lives either. But I'm a firm believer in teaching a person how to fish instead of giving them one.
I like that one.
Right. And
totally, Yolanda.
That in this situation, you know, any of us who do any kind of coaching or training can relate to that.
Monica, can you talk up a little? I can hardly hear.
Oh, you can't hear me? I don't know. Like, I bought a mic, it doesn't work. You cannot hear me? Maybe it's for better.
The screen.
Yeah, right. I did that, but I don't know. I bought a mic and it doesn't work, but that's a whole different story. Yeah, I just want to say that when we are doing our work, like if it's some kind of coaching or whatever we do, like Abdul, you help people because you've been doing coaching for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guys hear me at all?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just don't want to be MC Hammer. You know the story of MC Hammer?
Oh, helping
yeah,
all your friends, and then he actually became broke. Yeah.
Yeah, all his friends were working for him. He ended up broke.
But let me.
That was leeching.
Guys,
I
I just think that I love Dana's statement because, but I also know that Dana is very perceptive. She's not gonna hang out with somebody who is negative, and she's not gonna put
That's
her
right.
energy in it. She can see he has a big heart, just like your grandfather. And I think I do love it because I think inside of every big project there is, it's kind of like purpose based, kind of like love based, you know. I really believe in that integrity thing. I really respect it.
Yeah.
You probably can't hear me, but oh well.
No, we heard you, Veronica. And just so you know, helping somebody has nothing to do with being their friend. Period.
Yes,
So,
yes, I
Yeah.
agree with that.
I
And
do
by the
think-
way, I made a survey. I asked, but I'll
Oh,
tell
wow.
about this maybe on Monday. I asked people who follow me.
Mhm.
Can you hear my? I think my internet is frozen.
I can hear you.
I
we can
asked
hear you,
people
Veronica.
who follow me. I asked people. Okay, but maybe it's you. I don't know. So, anyways, I'll share with you guys a little later.
Okay.
I asked people who follow me, like, how do they, like in my group, how do they feel that I'm not currently married, but I lead the relationship thing? And I got the most amazing answers you could ever imagine. So I'll
Oh, I
share with
love
you
that.
later, just for our marketing and avatar.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes, I'm going to share it with you because connection is weird. I'm going to share on Monday, but I think everybody can benefit because I seriously doubt that I can have this business. When I started, I thought I have to get in either be engaged or in a serious relationship or married to run it. And I'm so glad that I didn't wait till then. But I'm going to share with you.
Yeah.
Maybe it will be helpful for the avatar and business, and just in some ways it could be helpful. Yeah.
So as we're talking about,
Oh,
you
what
know,
the fuck is
helping others and you know, being help, Ryan said that his mom and his parents, not his mom, but his parents invested everything they had in him. And so Dana, you know, that goes back to your point. There is that one person or a few people that will invest in you to push you, you know, to keep going. If you don't have that person that pushes you, to me, that's what makes you go even harder. Because you have to push yourself.
You know, this may sound like the most weirdest thing, but even in the book, The Talent Code, they talk about kids whose father died or mother died early. And, you know, sometimes I think people used to feel sorry for me because it was like, oh, your dad is not around, you know, and then, you know, you have these, my cousins, you know, they had mom and dads, you know, they were kind of like the Huxtables and everything. But I saw more of a flaw in that situation because they were comfortable. What I mean is, like, they didn't have that. It was like they knew they were going to have the birthday party. They knew they were going to have thousands of gifts under the freaking Christmas tree. But when you look at their adult life, they're afraid. They're afraid to move. You know, Grant Cardone's dad died when he was young and was like on his deathbed, was like, hey, can you make sure you teach those guys sales? Make sure those guys know sales. You know, the owner of Amazon, he was adopted. So I mean, like, sometimes that struggle isn't necessarily a bad thing in your life.
Adversity builds character. Listen, I have a group of not teenagers. They're 18 through 22 that I hold accountable for goal setting and all that kind of stuff. And one of the examples I gave them on Saturday was, I told one of them, I said, hey, you'll go a lot further and be more successful than my daughter. And my daughter is sitting next to me looking like, what the, right? I said, because your mom died, your dad don't have a relationship with you, and you live somewhere else, you know, and you don't have like your own bed kind of thing.
Yep.
You're working and you're pursuing, you're pressing, you just don't have the right arrow or the right target to aim your arrow on. But once you get it, you'll become more successful because you're going through this struggle, as opposed to my daughter, who knows she has a clutch pad to come fall back on. Although she's an entrepreneur and she's doing stuff, she's not doing it with an urgency of, I got to get this stuff done. And that pissed my daughter off, but it also made the young lady become more aware that she is more dedicated. By Tuesday, on her goal sheet, her 5-day goal setting sheet, she had all of it done by Tuesday.
Wow.
And so she was like, can I it's okay to add more, isn't it? And I was like, absolutely, let's talk about it. Let's add some more and keep going. But she realized, man, I'm sitting here looking at Takisa, who, crap, I said names. Anyway, I'm sitting here looking at Takisa, who I think have it all, when the reality is she's not really doing what she can be doing. Let me get to work.
Yeah. I don't see. I didn't even have a bed until I was 12 years old. I slept on a freaking cold, hard floor, and people look at the situation like, it's so bad, but that's all I knew. Kind of think whatever. But I think that sometimes, and I hate to say it, sometimes kids can be so soft, and then they grow up to be soft adults. And I think sometimes you gotta have some hardship. Like my uncle said, sometimes you have to eat a little shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm afraid that you're describing my kids.
I wonder if we're related.
What's that?
I wonder if we're related. Your mom had the same sayings. My uncle used to say, "Life's a shit sandwich. The more bread you make, the less shit you have to eat." It's pretty similar stuff here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And I agree with that absolutely too. I think being spoiled is take the source of life out the kids, because they're thirsty, they're creative, they want to do stuff, like they want to express themselves. And when sometimes you see a kid, he's doing great, he's playing with that one toy, and then you come and dump a whole bunch of other toys on him. Now he's lost. Like I think we are really on the way of kids sometimes, like we are really getting on their way. So
Absolutely, I agree.
So speaking of kids, so we were all 10 years old playing Monopoly, but none of us kind of did what he did. Got $5,000 and invested it in the stock market.
yeah.
It's just, I don't know, there's just something innate about...
That age, I didn't even know what stock market was.
No.
I think
we can't even tell from his parents that they knew what it was, because they didn't really mention it.
They didn't. They did not know what it was. They knew to go get him the help, though. They knew to go get him the help.
But they gave him the book, The Beardstown Ladies Common Sense Investment Guide.
Right. They gave it to him because he said that's what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Right. But, like...
Yeah, good for them to get that for him, though.
Does anybody else, or maybe that's just the negativity in me, but does anybody else, when we read stuff like this, wonder if these guys are lying?
No.
Yolanda.
Yes.
I do.
I do sometimes.
No, I don't, because people, there are so many people that are different than us. I'll tell you, for instance, my ex-husband's uncle was like a genius. He graduated dental school at age 22. So he was like an amazing man. He was so smart. And his mother couldn't even hardly speak any English. She was an Italian immigrant. And like how she came here when she was like 16, and she lived with an aunt, and she like scrubbed floors, and she was beaten, and she was treated very badly. And this is my ex-husband's grandmother. I mean, it's just an amazing story of her, of what she did. And then like she was an amazing person, and she ended up buying a 3-story building in Brooklyn, New York. I mean, she was just an amazing character herself. So I mean, these stories are not, to me, they're not lies, because these things happen. And then she had children where, well, the boy succeeded. I don't know about, well, even the girl succeeded too, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know. My ex-mother-in-law, she had 2 bachelor's degrees. So I don't know. I just think that education was something that I think in immigrants, it was, in some immigrants, it was taught. Not my parents. My parents, for some reason, did not think education was important. I have no idea why. Out of the 3 immigrants that came here, for some reason, my parents thought that education was silly.
They didn't know.
It was bizarre because my other two aunts and uncles thought that education was very important. And we used to hang out all of us together. So I have no idea why they thought education wasn't important. But anyway, so I don't know. I don't think it's a lie because I see it in like why wasn't, when I was playing Monopoly, why didn't I get the instinct in my head when I was 10, like to think further about it? And
So as I was reading that, Pat, I thought about him and his fascination with the brain and how it worked is what made him go to that level.
Yeah. Yeah, we weren't thinking about that. I was just thinking about having fun and going outside and playing with my brother and going in the pool and doing all kids things.
Lucky.
Yeah, I was thinking about just having fun. I wasn't thinking about my future. I was thinking about that day. I wasn't thinking of, it was very interesting when I read these things. I wasn't thinking about my future at all. And my parents were okay with that. And
How
maybe,
about if you're, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I mean, maybe his parents were okay with that too, but he wasn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Veronica, tell us about life growing up in Mother Russia.
Guys, my situation was my dad is super into education, so he would do the opposite what Pat had. So I would be playing with my kids. I was so into games. Oh my gosh, I had huge imagination. I had so much fun. And here I see his figure approach, and I'm like, holy cow, I know what's going to happen. He would bring books, math, dictations, language. He would pull me aside out of playing kids, take me to do the branch, and give me tests, exercises, like not when I'm home. I've already done my homework. Please note that was extra on top of homework. I came from home, done my homework first thing. So when I would be playing, and I hated that with all my heart, but now I do appreciate what he did because he always taught me to go extra mile and to learn extra, not ever be satisfied with average. But at the moment, I thought he was the worst dad existed ever on this planet.
That didn't happen with Angelina Jolie in her movie. I want to hear like a spy story. He taught you how to throw knives.
CJ, it's after 7 o'clock, CJ. You got to come back on Sunday, the day we don't meet.
Yeah, right.
Are you talking about salt?
Yeah, salt.
Yeah. Sleeper cells and stuff. That's
Yeah. Mother Russia.
Hey, speaking of which, I'm going to, Abdul had to cut out, it looks like. So I'm going to talk with him and see if we're having our Saturday morning meeting.
Yeah, I would come if you do.
Abdul and us are implementing the last book, Russell Brunson's book. So I'll let you all know on the chat if we're actually doing that. So if Abdul can't come, then we'll reschedule it.
Yeah.
Chuck, you have all your slides done?
I wouldn't say they're done.
They look good though.
They're all laid out. I'm way ahead of Abdul.
What are you guys doing?
And that's all that matters. I'm ahead of Abdul.
Well, they're trying to implement the funnel, right?
Right.
Yeah. We're working on
.com secrets.
.com. No, not .com secrets. Expert secrets. We're doing the perfect webinar.
Ah, gotcha.
Sean, is that something you can help with?
Not really. I mean, I could try. I'm not big on webinars.
So we're
My
laying that out.
desire, and I'm putting this out there because I really want CJ to be home. My desire is for us to sit down and work through his marketing plan for AP. Yes, he's busy for the next 3 months and, calendar is full. But then what? I know for a fact,
time.
Right. I know for a fact, based on history, what you do the last 3 months is what show up in 3 or 6 months coming up. So
yeah, I got something I could do a webinar for. If I'm allowed to participate in that, I'd be happy to.
let's do it. CJ's not available tomorrow, I don't think, but I can make myself available.
All right. Well, I'll put it on the chat if we're doing it, and actually, even if Abdul can't do it, if you just want to get together, and I'm cool with that too.
All right.
Is that why you guys were doing the elevator pitches and stuff?
No.
No.
That was from the last book.
Gotcha.
5-second rule. All right, guys. Well, have a good weekend. Chuck, I'll wait to hear from you as far as the chat.
Okay.
I'm sorry about not responding to your email, but yes for everything. But we have a couple of questions, so at
Okay,
some point
great.
they will call you. It'll probably be
Okay.
earlier than later.
All right, sounds good.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Have a great day, everybody.
Good Friday, everybody.
Okay.
Take care, Sean.
Happy Friday.
Bye, Veronica.